I gave up on reporting anything to the police. Anyone does anything to me, what people be. Someone else told with you. I say, I really don't care anymore. I just called the police about a death threat that was discussed earlier before I left my flat. Like, my neighbors were literally like shocked that I was going out because they're expecting to kill me tonight, apparently. So I was ignoring that, as I do. I normally ignore a lot of things that they say. I called the police, and the first person I spoke to just assumed I was saying something bad to them and started getting really, really rude. She gave me her badge number. She started really getting really rude, like I was trying to talk to her like chill like this. They started calling me names and stuff. And just decided, you know what, I don't believe you. I explained like how I had an explosion last year when I was sleeping and woke up without an eyebrow because of these technology experiments. I don't know if it's something in the area that is quite common or something that people don't want to talk about. I don't understand why it's so shielded when it's actually being harmful to me. There's no way I can just keep quiet about this when I'm being treated inhumanely. So if you call the police and you're vulnerable to someone abusing you like this. I mean, there was a case that a Caucasian woman won. She was being sexually assaulted. She was living alone, but she was having a sexual assault. She was a victim of that. So there was an article in the Metro, London Metro, where she won thousands of pounds. I don't know if it was the police that proved it or the lawyers. So, like, I'm experiencing that and more. It's horrible. It's demeaning. It's inhumane. I don't know if the missing part of the puzzle is that I'm not Caucasian for me to be listened to. So I called automatically. The police went into the game. She started twisting every word I was saying, every sentence I was saying. She started twisting it into something else. And then just started calling me paranoid, which is something that another officer who I met ages ago apologized about or reversed in a second meeting. Actually, I acknowledge that, okay, you know what, the first time we met, we misunderstood you. We thought you were paranoid, but you're not. So there's two women I spoke to today tried to call me that. It sounded as if they were sitting next to each other. The first person who answered the call. And I don't have an electric heater. Like the electric heating on in an electric car on your seat, but at a very, very high level of heat. Not even that. In your car, you can control it. The heat was just turned up really high. Person behind the technology experiment laughed about blowing up Air India, which is called. second person I spoke to just basically did the same thing. They just said it as if it was nothing. Well, I don't believe you. I think you're paranoid. I was basically the second person who answered the call. Like the operator kept saying, "Have you finished? Like, shall I just put you back through?" Put me back through. Police officers are acting as if this is just a game. Well, it's not an emergency. Bye. This was not supposed to be an issue about police. This is supposed to be police dealing with a radicalist. I said to one of them, "Well, I'm not dying tonight. I just called to let you guys know what happened to me last year and the threat that I've just been served tonight. These guys will not kill me. These guys will not threaten me, and I just keep quiet. They will not bully me, and I just roll over and play dead. I don't know. Maybe they expect me to be whimpering so that they come to my rescue. I was whimpering all of last year. When I called them, just like nothing. And sometimes their presence here made me, as intimidated as I was, I would forget sometimes. I actually called them once when I found a bunch of keys, and apparently there was rumors that someone disappeared. But I didn't report that. Only later I realized the way they arrived, and probably what I was going through already, I forgot what I was going to report to them because I couldn't go all the way up to the station. I just returned the keys outside, and then they disappeared. And the bins weren't being collected for a long time. So I left that alone. So from now on, I'm minding my own business. If I find these guys in my flat, I'll deal with it then. Apparently in their flat, they've exposed that the police are expecting us to fight between each other until someone dies. Can you imagine that? As young as I am, I should fight a grown man who's messing with technology. I'm not dying. Apparently, I'm being treated like that because I went to church this evening instead of sitting around and waiting for them to do something to me. And then I came back just to reinforce the lock on my door. Because earlier this morning, I found my chain had been undone. So I came back and reinforced it with another lock and just realized all my days. They have a spare key for the locks. The door key itself, I had to change the other day. £150 it cost me. We couldn't even finish. I'm sure this guy attacked that locksmith with technology. He couldn't stand me and the lock. I really need to change that key as well because that was the entrance that I thought was the most at risk. I thought, okay, if there are thieves in there, they can probably twist that lock from the outside. Anyway, it's that kind of lock. You can't leave the key in there so to stop anything from happening. So I had to chain it up. Oh my days. I was speaking so calmly. The person just decided to try and get shouting and that. I'm already tired. I was shouting earlier at this guy about his approach, telling him no. There's no marriage between us. You can't force me to be with you. You can't be trying to get me arrested so that you can come and seem as if you're rescuing me from the station and trap me into flat 4. It's impossible. After such violence, this guy violates me on such a vile level, filthy level, and records things without consent in his experiments. And has admitted that he forgot one time that he's pretending to be innocent. And also admitted that I never volunteered for those experiments. We never once discussed anything. I never asked him to represent me in any way. We do not live together. We've never lived together. I've never been their childminder. I only baked a cake once for somebody else. Apparently the person that they never wanted me to see again, personally. Although we've been texting and stuff. And he's admitted to being jealous of that person ever meeting me again. And admits to following him around and threatening his life too. And now he's thinking I should be isolated so that he keeps me to himself. This evening he said, go and come back to me. What? So now I know his confidences. He's got one officer advising him on how to present himself. They packed up a whole van the other day. Kids walking around with camera stands. Been demonstrating the use of technology at my expense. Some of the people who they were luring through their flat used to run away. Used to run away when he starts demonstrating. Because the demonstrations were brutality. Hitting my joints, making me bleed. Like PV bleed. Let me not get too graphic. PV bleed. Sometimes to like mimic miscarriage if I've been with someone. And now this guy is proposing marriage after treating me like this almost more than 2 years. More than 2 years. It was easier to deal with when I had a partner. But like, this guy really made sure. Like even now, they're discussing in their flat. But you don't know like how they plan stuff, the people they call, what they say to people, exaggerating information, pretending. They've been pretending in that flat since they invited the other family that I was their childminder. And so they would intimidate me in the corridors. They would defame me, pass the information around. By the time I walked to the end of the road, people are saying, why don't you stay with your mother, Hannah? How can she be my mother? Or I don't know if they'll be referring to the other older lady, the grandmother of the little boys. And also now quite aggressive. So parents always said, I'm not a Muslim, I'm a radicalist. And so these kids are being groomed. I shouted at him earlier for uttering those words. Go and come back to me. This guy must have been in a gang or something. And then now he talks as if I'm part of it, or I don't know. Like, it's really absurd. Unacceptable. So I have to find my own gang, I guess. Deal with this. Because the police definitely don't want to be my gang. Well, not those two officers I just spoke to. Calling me names. I tried to explain to them what I know about technology being experimented with. They just told me that no, it's not happening. You're paranoid. There's no such thing. I'd be lying if I said I didn't need people to report this. I need people to report. Anyone who knows about gaming tech, simulation tech, 5G, the strength of 5G networks, the proximity, aspect of it. Because this guy can reach me from miles away. I was having a breather on my way back from the shop. I was in the same direction of the place I'd gone to earlier. I don't know. The beer is using AI to interfere with a lot of things. I know what that officer was trying to do, but unfortunately, it was just too aggressive and unnecessary. But dang, man. Life can be so unfair. The attack, the warfare. I won't be up straight. The warfare on my life, the journey into finding someone aligned for marriage is really, really an uphill mountain. It's really an uphill mountain. I know it's not with Zubir. I know that for a fact. I don't even have to pray about it. Do not marry your abuser. I won't anyway. I don't tolerate violence on any level. No. I know what I need at this stage. I've compromised enough to stay open-minded and meet people and stuff, even been engaged, called it off. I know now, like, if a guy says he's not ready, the minute he says he's out, I mean, I'll agree, okay. Because some situations can be dangerous. It's better to respect each other's space and just keep it moving, you know? You can actually have better friendship that way. But things are very different now. This is a very, very sensitive season. Very sensitive season. So, I can't believe I just went through that. I really can't. I'm really shocked. Really, really shocked. I was actually going to tell someone else that I know about the threat and not express anything about the 2 calls. But now I really don't know what to say. I don't have the money to hire a gang. I haven't really thought about it like that, but I think it's something I actually have to consider. I was even thinking about, like, if I'm traveling, how would I pay people to travel with me? Because I'm going to need security of my own. I'm going to need security of my own. Right now I can't afford it, but I really need security of my own. Not people who put me in danger. So, wow, man, life. Someone will try to reduce you to nothing so that they can seem as if they've done everything for you. And yet, they're actually trying to rub you out, like delete you out. You can't delete someone out. I'm not an empty tape or empty USB to, copy things over. That's impossible. I can't live like that. It's not humble. It's inhumane to expect me to just be like a shallow grave. That's essentially how I think this guy is treating me with his experiments of technology. The thing is, this stuff can be proven because there's an actual case where it was proven. So technology is developing. So he's not the first person to be trying this. That woman, I think it was in the north somewhere, north of England. So he's not the first person to be trying this. But then, I don't think he's the right person to be having this technology. Because he's quite forgetful and... I don't know, I question his capacity sometimes. Every day, actually. Now I just question his capacity. How can you forget that you're pretending to be innocent? How can you forget it all the time? You know what? The most disappointing was to know that they've been lying all this other woman. Very disappointing. So, not actually married. But, hey, well, united for Wahala. For problems, serious problems. Will there be any faithfulness found on earth? What verse is that? I need to find it. Will there be any faithfulness found on earth? There's no other option. The only way is up. Can only be hopeful that one day you'll be meeting the right person, moving on, having children, picket fence. I don't mind a little picket fence here too. But one day, everything will be different. People are expecting me to get into some sort of physical fight. Only if I find someone breaking in while I'm in here. If that guy tries to do something, yes, I will defend myself, definitely. Because there's no way I'm going to be rolling over and playing dead when someone's trying to attack me, a known rapist, a known violator, and he says he's going to physically attack me. No. I won't catch gonorrhea. Our walls are so thin. I heard the confession a few years ago when they were all finding out. I don't know if they were trying to have a threesome or what, but now they talk about it like it's nothing. They do that sort of thing in their flat. It is what it is. I'm not jealous. I'm not trying to go in there. I will not go there. Apparently I'm being invited. I'm not going there. Each to their own, eh? I'm not that sort of person. I can't deal with it. String of one night stands and stuff. I think maybe there's a season for things. I'm just not in that season. It's not me. I'm not in that season. these guys have been defaming me in a lot of ways. Anyway, my video is getting too long. Let me cut this short.